Who are these people?
All right, welcome to this episode of Angel in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Angel Rivera, alongside my guest once again, Alex Knight. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How about you?
Oh, I'm good. Just just it's been a long week for me, so
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get through this and just get over this show
It's been very
because
hot over here for the past weeks or months. It's super hot.
oh yeah, it's hot over here too, but it isn't as hot as it was. Today's only right now it's like 78 here, so
Oh,
it
like
isn't
here it's
as
like at least in the 90s.
oh wow,
Yeah.
that is hot.
Yeah.
Oh, today we're here to discuss Kamala Harris's new VP pick. His name is a surprising pick because you were here last week when we were talking about Governor Josh Shapiro being the pick
Yeah.
because there was this
We
ad.
saw that ad. Yeah. Last week.
There was this ad. You were here with me and talking about how the Kamala Harris for Pennsylvania people that claimed that it was Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. Instead, either that was wrong, or or they changed the pick the last second. But one way or another, it turns out it's Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. That's right. The guy who I personally never heard of until 6 months ago, but
Yeah.
he's the pick. The governor of Minnesota, who's basically some nobody until very recently.
Yeah.
Somehow he gets the VP pick, and out of nowhere for no reason he gets it. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think just what's very ridiculous is all these fake progressives acting like, oh, it's a great pick. He's so progressive. Oh my God, yay! Like he's still pro-Israel. He still
Mm-hmm.
supports the Ukraine-Russia war. He's still, he's still a corporate Democrat. Like how? Oh, he did free meals for kids or whatever it was. Some other things like this is what we're celebrating. You know, he still doesn't support Medicare for all. He still doesn't support a Green Deal or
Nope.
any numbers, all that stuff. So why are people excited for this guy? He's just like the rest of them.
Because he did a lot of progressive economic policies, which is why they're excited. Mostly the professional left.
Yeah.
But if you guys didn't see the ad, hold on, I kept it just in case. This is the ad I played last week, but let me play it again here because it said Josh Shapiro was the VP. Because if you got, it's the governor of Pennsylvania. So.
Philadelphia, we got work to do.
We're ready to rumble, yo!
I'm Mayor Sherelle Parker, here with leaders from across our region.
Kamala Harris is on the road to victory.
And the road goes through Pennsylvania.
And in Pennsylvania, we're united behind her. The woman that's tough and can lead.
Are we ready to fight for it?
She is the right person at the right time for this job.
It's gonna do right by labor. It's gonna do right by working people.
And I can't think of a better partner than our Governor Josh Shapiro.
His policies have not only supported the working class, but have set standards for progressive leadership that benefits all citizens.
Philadelphia building trades.
IBW for Kamala Harris.
Montgomery County. Bucks.
County.
Delco.
Chester.
Northeast, South Philly, North Philly, for Kamala Harris.
We're getting behind Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris for president. And Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro for vice president.
See, look at that. Josh Shapiro for vice president. Either that was wrong or they changed their minds. But
Yeah.
whoever it is, I mean, it's. I was surprised when all of a sudden they went, oh, yeah, by the way, we're picking Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota. Like, what? I couldn't believe that when they said, like, really? The governor of Minnesota? I've never heard of him until 6 months ago.
I hadn't heard of it until either a month or two ago.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's literally a political unknown.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of like when way back in 2008 when John McCain out of nowhere picked Sarah Palin, the governor of Alaska, just out of desperation in order to maybe she can help me defeat Barack Obama. But even then, I'm probably going to lose. That's exactly what happened. That's what this pick reminds me of. Like, it's the Sarah Palin type of pick.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people might be surprised by that. But Tim Walz is so much smarter than Sarah Palin. It's like, but no, but it's a random out of nowhere pick. It isn't like it's somebody, it isn't like, it was like Josh Shapiro or somebody like that. Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I don't think I showed this last week. This is the actual ad of Kamala Harris allegedly calling Tim Walz.
Oh no,
it
wasn't shown last week. It was shown on what?
Right. Yeah, you're right. It was beginning of this week. But this is the fakest ad of all time.
Yeah.
When she called Tim Walz, it was so phony that I can't believe anybody takes it seriously.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Well, let me tell you, I have just the utmost respect for you. I have really enjoyed our work together. You understand our country. You have dedicated...
What work? I mean, the only time they met was like once or twice.
Yeah.
And once was at Minnesota during a Planned Parenthood rally. That's the only time they really ever met in person. Other than that, they don't know each other. But it's talking about, oh, well, I can't wait to work with you again. We're blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's bullshit. They never know, they didn't even know each other.
Yourself to our country in so many different and beautiful ways. And we're going to do this. We're going to win. And we're going to unify our country and remind everyone that we are fighting for the future for everyone. So let's get out there and get this done, okay?
Let's do it.
Fuck you. What do you say? I'm sorry.
I was saying except for Palestinians.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same bullcrap. It's always the same bullcrap. So who is Governor Tim Walz? He's the governor of Minnesota, as I barely know. Let's see. Steph says he paid for free lunches for K-12 by raising. He paid for free lunches and K-12 by raising school taxes on poor people. We're still responsible for making our kids have school supplies. They did the same thing over here in Pennsylvania. Our school taxes are over $600. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's always something. There's always a catch. So, oh, yeah, I mean, we're going to pay for school lunches and breakfasts. Don't worry about it. But, oh, yeah, there is a catch to it, though. You have to pay for supplies. You have to pay all the other stuff. So,
and I just want to say one more thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Even if Shapiro was the VP pick for Kamala, all these big progressives, they still would have gone behind anyways. Because for them, it's all about defeating Trump. That's all it is.
Yeah, of course they would have. So I don't like using Kyle Kulinski, but he lists his policies, his domestic policies at least. So Tim Walz positions that are not even possible to believe because he references Trump here. Free school breakfasts, free school lunches, 12 weeks paid family leave, 12 weeks paid sick leave, free college, and $2.2 billion in K-12 school funding. Trump is disgusted by these things. So let's see. What is he talking about?
She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen.
She's a radical
She picked
left
a
person.
radical left
Man,
that is, he's got things done that he has positions that are just not, it's not even possible to believe that they exist. He's going for things that nobody's ever even heard of. Heavy into the transgender world, heavy into lots of different worlds.
So yeah, that's Trump's thoughts.
So here's the problem with the Trump campaign, and I was saying this immediately after he announced he was running again. If he ran the same campaign that he did in 2020, he would probably lose, because that's just see that called him radical left and all this stuff that he's been saying. Like, that's not a winning strategy. You're making the same mistake as you did in 2020. They got to change that.
Yeah. I want to know more about these paid sick leave and paid work leave or parental leave, because I don't understand. I should have probably done this for the show, but I didn't. State-run paid. That's bullshit. Hold on, let me show you this. Bear with me 1 second. Where is it? Because I initially thought that this was it says Walz signed into law one of the most significant pro-worker agendas in state history in 2023, including paid sick leave and state-run paid family leave and medical leave program, providing up to 20 weeks of leave in a single year. So, in other words, the government pays for this. It's not like the corporations or the employers. The government's like, oh no, we'll give you 20 weeks paid leave for a year or whatever. That's like, it's 54 weeks in a year. So we're talking about, 3 months of family leave? At least. It's like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. That's like 5 months. If it's 4 weeks a month. Good God. I mean, I don't mind this, but the issue again becomes when the government's paying for it, because that means the taxpayers are paying for it. Not me personally, as I don't live in Minnesota, but the Minnesotan taxpayers are definitely paying for this. So I wonder how long before Minnesota's like, enough's enough. We're not paying for your family leave anymore and medical leave. I mean, and what the ideal situation, again, in my opinion, is this. Encourage more unions and unionization. So you have the unions negotiating with corporations directly, and you don't have government doing this type of stuff. Because the government does this, it's going to get cut at some point. Tim Walz not be governor forever, so it's going to get cut at some point. And then there's going to be issues there too. So it's better just to have unions negotiate stuff instead of going to the government like, oh yeah, we give you 20 weeks of paid leave and all this other stuff, government funded, when we all damn well know it's going to get cut eventually. All right, so...
And even the free college thing that Kyle also lists, I mean, there has to be a catch for that as well. That I don't think he would support all free college or whatever it is, the same way that other progressives do. There has to be a catch with that, right?
Oh, of course there's a catch. I mean, there's always a catch. It's just that it depends. It doesn't matter, because ultimately he's a very wealthy white dude, so it's not going to affect him. But there's always a catch. Usually that means taxpayers, you're paying for it out of your taxes, which means your taxes are going to go up, which means you're not going to be happy about it. Because what if all of a sudden you don't have children and you're paying all these extra taxes because these other people have children and they get 3 or 4 months paid leave? I mean, people are actually happy about that because not everybody has kids. So let's see. What? All right. So we have a bunch of. Oops. Here we go. We have a bunch of Kamala Harris supporters chanting like they are in a goddamn cult. So let's watch this.
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. That's right.
I mean,
So a bunch of people. I don't know what that means.
Democracy looks like.
I don't know. That's a good question, but they think apparently democracy is a bunch of people standing around doing nothing and chanting like they're in some kind of cult or whatever. So this is another one. This is Kamala Harris saying the exact same thing in two straight days. So there's no difference.
So good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's. I had a summer job at McDonald's. So hear me when I say, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. And are we ready to fight for it? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win!
It's exactly the same thing. And that's the same day in two different states. One, the left was Wisconsin, the other one's in Michigan. But it's the exact same thing. There's no difference between the two. It's like they loaded in the first speech to the teleprompter, and then she went to Michigan and loaded in the second speech and reloaded the same speech. Like there's really no difference, except at one point she says Detroit, and the other one she didn't. But she added one word, which is Detroit.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Who takes them seriously? Who takes it seriously on both sides? But at least Trump isn't repeating his same speech.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently Tim Walz is also a drunk. So let's check this out. Kamala Harris picks Tim Walz to be the VP. It would be a pity if his mugshot from his DUI arrest went viral. He's going 96 in the 55. That's allegedly him. This was years ago. So, yeah, he decided to drive drunk and busted,
Yeah.
All right. So he's a drunk.
Yeah.
And this is Medea Benjamin. She's
censorship as well.
I'm sorry?
He's against censorship as well.
Yeah, yes, it's a big one. Governor Tim Walz is Kamala Harris' VP pick. As Minnesota governor, he established universal free school meals and now will stand up for starving children in Gaza. We must make sure that he and Democrats will hear our voices in Democratic National Convention August 19th to 22nd, as we called for immediate ceasefire and to end the U.S. support for Israel's genocide.
Medea Benjamin.
Kamala Harris didn't pick.
Never mind. I'll let you play the video first.
I'm breathing a sigh of relief that Kamala Harris didn't pick Josh Shapiro as a running mate. She listened to the criticisms, and instead she picked Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. He has a pretty good track record in Minnesota. The fact that he got free lunches for all the school kids is a good thing. Maybe he's also concerned about kids starving in Gaza. But let's not fool ourselves. There's still a Democratic administration in power that is supporting the Israeli genocide. There's still bombs going off in Gaza every day. There's still women and children and innocent people being killed every day, being starved every day, being deprived of health care every single day. And now there's a regional crisis that is about to get out of control. In fact, we hear Israel even talking about doing a, quote, preemptive strike against Iran. So let's not let our guard down. We have to keep pushing this administration, the Democrats and the Republicans in any venues we can find. In fact, there's a good one coming up in Chicago very soon, the Democratic National Convention. Hope to see you there. I'll be there out on the streets.
Yeah, well, she...
Medea Benjamin has become such a huge disappointment. I mean, how do you, you know, gain so much respect or whatever you call it by when you constantly hold politicians accountable for Israel and all that stuff, and you know she's been so great on that, but then you know she still defends the squad, and she'll still be fooled by you know apparently like Tim Walz, you know apparently he's a progressive even though he's not. Like how do you still not get that, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, she acts like, you know, she basically acts like Tim Walz is this heroic figure. Oh, well, you know, he's he may be pro-Palestine. We don't, you know, blah, blah, blah.
No,
It's like, no.
He's not.
Yeah, he's literally, is like literally anti, he's what's what I'm looking for? He's Zionist, he's straight up Zionist because he's been to Israel. He's had people, you know, coming to Minnesota talking about how great Israel and stuff like that. So no, he's not this pro-Palestinian hero or whatever. So yeah, it's just, you know, Medea Benjamin is just nothing but at this point, unfortunately, she's just a shill. There's no difference between what she does and what any other person on the online left does constantly.
I don't remember this woman's name, but you know, she was someone who was making fun of Michael Rappaport for the Israel stuff, you know, impersonating him. You know who? Is it Blakely? Is that her name? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she's become a disappointment too because she hopped on board with the Harrison Walz tickets after, and it's like, oh, so what happened with your you know, your anti-Israel pro-genocide videos and all that stuff? Is that not a red line for you after all? You know, it's like what happened?
What happened is basically that Joe Biden dropped out, and as long as Joe Biden dropped out, doesn't matter who gets chosen, because as long as he's dropped out, they're all good.
They're gonna get fooled yet again. They have not learned.
Yeah.
For not submitting the right.
So this is Tim Walz. You know, a quick. I'm not sure you've seen this, but this summarizes him pretty good, I think.
Welcome to the race, Tim Walz. Let's make sure America knows who you are. You helped ignite the George Floyd riots, the worst the country had ever seen in decades. While Minneapolis burned, you stalled on deployment of the National Guard for an entire day, blaming the city for not submitting the right paperwork. You let your daughter leak the Guard's deployment plans online so that rioters would know how long they had to loot the city with impunity. Minneapolis is a war zone because of you. Just days after the attempted murder of Donald Trump, you called him and his supporters fascists, egging on the same rhetoric that led him to being shot in the first place. You have overseen some of the most radical youth trans surgery laws in the country. Under your leadership, teenagers can get their breasts chopped off and get sterilized, and your government calls it health care. You have the most radical abortion laws in the country. 0 limits. Every year, 5 to 6 babies are born alive.
The statute does not include any specific prohibitions on abortion at any stage of pregnancy. The numbers of abortions that occur late into a pregnancy is historically rare in Minnesota. The Minnesota Department of Health provides an annual report to Minnesota legislature on the number of induced abortions each year. The most recent data from 2022 listed one abortion performed in the third trimester of pregnancy at 32 weeks. So, yeah, you know, it doesn't include any laws and any language that prohibits abortion in the third trimester. So that's the point that whoever this is, either it's an AI or something trying to make.
And then murdered legally under laws you support. On immigration, you famously said you wanted to provide a ladder so invaders can come over Trump's wall. You are a radical open border zealot. Also during COVID, you approved $500 million in hero pay for frontline workers, only to have 40% of that money go to people who were ineligible or, in many cases, literally deceased. In the White House, you were Pelosi's sidekick and did whatever the Democrats demanded. You will try to disguise yourself as a folksy Midwestern moderate. In reality, You are a white male version of Kamala Harris, radical, inept, undeserving to be in leadership.
Yeah. That ending part made no sense, but the rest of it is like interesting. It's like, oh yeah, you're a radical leftist, just like Kamala Harris. I'm like, no, she's not a radical leftist.
What's really funny is that I'm sure you've seen that video from Kamala HQ where they shared a video of Trump calling, or at least talking to Tim Walz about the 2020 riots and all that stuff. You've seen that tweet, right? And they're acting like, oh, Trump is toast. Oh, he praises Tim Walz. They're really stupid. No, it's what exposing is Tim Walz pretty much agreeing with Trump on the riots and all that stuff. Like, that's not a win for you guys. You're pretty much just exposing Walz as
Trump was like, Trump was basically like, well, Tim Walz did a great job in ordering the National Guard to clear out the rioters in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now they're criticizing him. It took too long. It took 24 hours. He didn't do it immediately. But initially, Trump was like, oh, yeah, great job. I mean, you cleared out those fuckers, didn't you? So now it's like, now they're turning around and like, oh, no, Donald Trump praised Tim Walz. I mean, he supports him. It's just so disingenuous.
That's not the W that they think it is.
Yeah, it's so disingenuous.
Yeah.
So this is more of the governor of Minnesota. Walz claimed his golden rule is mind your own damn business. I guess he forgot about he literally set up a snitch line for people not following his tyrannical COVID orders. Tampon Tim is a fraud. Oops.
Because we know there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Yeah, during COVID, what he did was he created a line, a 1-800 number you can call to tattletale on people that weren't following the COVID policies exactly. So I should have saved that, but I did see it. Tim Walz COVID line. Let's see whether I can find it. Here it is. Oh, by the way, since we're on YouTube here, make sure you get your vaccines. They're all great. They all work perfectly. But yeah, Tim Walz COVID snitch line. If my accounts remember for anything, let it be this. Just like socialism, blah blah blah. Tim Walz, blah blah. So let's listen to this.
The information you leave. Hello, you have reached the Department of Public Safety stay-at-home hotline. The information you leave is considered public information. At the tone, please leave the following information: your name, your callback number, how the stay-at-home order is being violated, and where the stay-at-home order was violated. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
So that's literally what you get, this phone number you would call. And Tim Walz is Minnesota during COVID. And, you could report your neighbors, you could report your family, you could report your friends for not following COVID orders. And then what would happen? I don't know. Maybe they would get arrested or maybe something would happen to them. But yeah, I mean, it's 1984-ish, quite literally. That's what Tim Walz did. Let's see here. That was a Trumper pretending to be anonymous. That could be, yeah. That's probably what it was. The abortion thing is bold. Trump is just as radical. He also wants to bring in Agenda 2030. Let's see. They got Jesse probably because he threatened his wife who needs cannabis. I wouldn't be surprised because, it's definitely... let's see. Here we go. Let's watch this. This is from Chelsea Handler. She's praising Tim Walz here, so let's check this out.
This week, a hot new bombshell has entered the villa, and
that's already cringe. Within 2 seconds, it's cringe as hell.
His name is Tim Walz. The cutie patootie who looks like this when he poses with animals. Some people have tried to label him Tampon Tim because of a bill he signed last year requiring schools to provide free menstrual products in all public school bathrooms. I'll just say this, Tampon Tim sounds like my new favorite Marvel superhero. A man bringing me tampons? That's hot. Tim Walz
so cringe.
is somebody we can all get behind, so we can all start getting along again. He's a veteran and hunter who's in favor of sensible gun laws. He supports IVF, which helps him and his wife conceive. He made sure every child was provided with school lunches, so no kid had to learn on an empty stomach. And he works to expand LGBTQ plus protections, like when he sponsored the Gay Straight Alliance as the high school head football coach in the 90s. I'm attracted to you. And it's not even just me. Even Trump is smitten. Here he is talking about Walz back in 2020.
I spoke to the governor. The governor's, I think, on the call, and he's an excellent guy.
Whoopsie doodle. That's awkward. A manly high school.
Again, like you said, I mean, that was when Tim Walz ordered the National Guard to clear out the Black Lives Matter protesters. That's the only reason why Trump praised him at the time.
Yeah.
So this idea that all of us, like, oh, well, even Trump praised Tim Walz. Yeah, because he did the policy that Trump wanted him to do.
Yeah. And
so he's a good.
About, he loves animals. So what? Everybody loves animals. I mean, I don't know. You can see, I have my cat over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who cares? That doesn't mean you're gonna win.
No, it's just he's a manly high school football coach.
Football coach who gives rousing speeches and supports women. I will be the Connie Britton to his Kyle Chandler any day. Tampon.
So cringe. Yeah, I can't take that much more. So cringe. That's embarrassing. So, oops. All right. So apparently, this is a big deal when he signed into law the school lunch thing, where he let's see. This is when he signed. I seen the most popular image of Tim Walz being hugged by kids when he signed a bill for free breakfasts and school lunches at schools. This is my first time seeing the video, and it's very sweet. So there is a bunch of kids hugging him because he gave them free lunches, even though, you know, ultimately that's gonna cost more money for everybody in the long run. But whatever.
He's not gonna give
you know, if you're a parent.
He's not going to get the kids in Gaza free lunches. He's going to let them starve or, you know, support the killings of them. So.
No, definitely not. I mean, oops. I mean, it's just all it's going to do is just. Oh yeah, good. I mean, we get. Oh, by the way, those laws, those school lunches and school breakfasts are not means tested. So what does that mean? That means that everybody gets to benefit from that, even the wealthy kids. So, yeah, a bunch of wealthy, rich asshole kids gets to eat for free, just like the rest of us do, instead of having their parents pay for it. But that also saves them money, too. So, let's see. So, this is a video from 2009 shows a veteran confronting Tim Walz's staff over claims that he served in Afghanistan. The veteran says Walz could go to jail for violating the Stolen Valor Act of 2006 for claiming he had served in Afghanistan when he didn't. So apparently he allegedly claimed he served in Afghanistan when he didn't. So we got Stolen Valor too on top of that, if this is true, of course. So very brave of Tim Walz, by the way. It's not the first time politicians have done this. I mean, Stolen Valor, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I served here. Oh, it turns out I didn't. Well, whatever, vote for me anyways, you know, even though it's illegal for somebody to pretend they served somewhere when they didn't, especially when they're trying to benefit them. Like or even when it comes to military benefits or even running for office, you know, technically that's illegal if you use that. If Tim Walz actually had his rank reduced from CSM to MSG, it's a document here states he's still running around publicly saying he's a retired CSM. That's legitimately Stolen Valor. There's simply no other way to say it if it's true. Let's see.
Away, he's back again to wage a public war of.
The public needs to know how pathetic his leadership was as a National Guardsman
On a 150-year-old farm in Brewster, Tom Behrens hopes his tell-it-like-it-is style will finally get the attention he believes it deserves in Minnesota's race for governor. In a way, he's back again to wage a public war of words against Tim Walz.
He abandoned us, I mean, what kind of leader does that? I mean, he just, as soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and hung his hat up and quit.
We'll get to Behrens' new message for voters in a moment. But this all starts years earlier when Behrens says Walz's misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018.
So you try to get this message out, but Minnesota's largest newspaper checks it out, says it's 100% true, but yet refuses to print.
When I hung the phone up, I said, what the hell is this, North Korea?
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Behrens was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, if this guy quit, and if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that? If a company would say that we're going to deploy to Iraq or somewhere and you're going to be gone for whatever amount of time, and then a foreman just says, no, I'm not going. I mean, what does that say to the 500 people that work in that factory?
Behrens would go on to serve in Iraq on a nearly 2-year deployment as a command sergeant major. All while Walz began using that title as a congressman. Behrens says he first contacted Walz with his concerns, sending these letters to Washington. They all went unanswered.
But then we fast forward to the election in 2018 in Minnesota, and you try at that time to get people's attention with this story and also with what seems to be a very misleading statement that he continued to make about his service.
It kind of just sat there, when a congressman, he, bragged that he was a command sergeant, retired command sergeant major. I'm the highest ranking person ever in the House, and, all this lie that he was telling. The state of Minnesota came out after 2018, after this was exposed, and they said, well, he can say that he served as a command sergeant major, but he can't say he's a retired one because he's not.
And that's what he was saying.
And he was saying that, and there was lots of lots of cards coming in the mail, for him to be elected. They said right on there he's a retired command sergeant major, just tooting his own horn, just hanging on the coattails of people that actually are command sergeant majors that went through all the process and put all the time in.
A spokesperson for the Minnesota National Guard said Walz wasn't able to retire as a command sergeant major since he failed to complete coursework and requirements related to the rank. Verified documents show the Army corrected his service record. Walz was reduced in rank to an E8 Master Sergeant after retirement and his conditional promotion. Alpha News again asked Governor Walz if he's using the command sergeant major rank on his campaign website for political gain this year. A spokesperson said this has been in the news before and pointed us to a past story where Walz said, quote, normally this type of partisan political attack only comes from one who's never worn a uniform.
It's stolen valor is really what it is. I don't know if anybody else has done what he's done, but we called it the truth about Tim Walz.
In 2018, Behrens gave the story the full court press.
We, retired command sergeant majors of the Minnesota National Guard, feel it is our duty and responsibility to bring forth the truth as we know it concerning his service record. I put together information on it and I sent it out to every single radio station and newspaper and TV station I could in the state. The bottom line in all of this is gut-wrenching and sad to explain. When the nation called, he quit.
Twin Cities TV stations and the Star Tribune were silent, even after Behrens says the newspaper checked it all out. The Star Tribune endorsed Walz in 2018 for governor.
Well, that's not surprising that they most of the media remain silent because it's a Democrat and, they don't want a Republican winning. So it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's true. It turns out what you said is true, but we're not just going to cover it. We're going to endorse him instead to be governor. Congratulations,
Between lockdowns, riots, unchecked crime, and a charred police precinct, Behrens felt he had no choice but again to come forward.
Allowing that to be burned down was just like having the Alamo get burned down. It's like, no, you defend that to the last man. If he would have went to Iraq, he'd still be hiding under his desk over there. Because that's just a cowardice that I seen portrayed with him.
So how about when he also comes out and he calls you guys 19-year-old cooks?
I'd take any 19-year-old cook before I'd go to war with him. I don't know how he could even utter such a statement. I mean, it's just absolutely sad.
So this election year, it's all built up again to Barron's new grain bin message.
He called Jacob Fry an abject failure. So I was like, that's what he is.
Walz is a traitor, also made a return.
And the last one I put together, he said it himself too, as well, if they don't like my job, they can vote me out. So I wrote, vote him out. We need to vote him out.
So yeah, he's if this is true, then it's literally stolen valor. That's what this is, and there's no way to deny it. I'm a retired command sergeant major. It's like, you're not. You're just not. You're just a pretend tough guy. It's people say, you've seen people say that Trump is he's a coward for hiding from Vietnam, and he's done all these horrible things and stuff, all of these deferments, except for the fact that when at least he admits, oh yeah, I never served in Vietnam. And so he's not lying about his service record. It's like, oh yeah, I served in Vietnam, except he has 6 deferments and he's hiding. He allegedly hid from service. I mean, it's like back when I was 18 years old, right when the Iraq War started. I didn't serve. I didn't come close to serving. I could tell this story many times. When I walked home from work, I always had some army military commander, like recruiter, like give me paperwork every single time he saw me. It was like, I swear I had paperwork like that thick by the time I told them. I basically said, leave me alone because I'm not going to sign up for the military. So this is 20 years ago now at this point. Damn, I'm really old. 20 years ago. I mean, how much time flies? But I digress, Yeah, you'll never, like, anybody pretends to served and didn't. It's just ridiculous. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz explains why he rejected Republican lawmakers' attempt to means test school meals for K-12 students. The haves and have-nots in the school lunchroom is not a necessary thing. Just feed our children.
Our Republican colleagues were concerned there would be a tax cut for the wealthiest. You can't make some of this up if you tried. The fact of the matter is that the programs of getting food get to our children as easily as possible has always been a priority. We know there's a lot of families that this is hard. They send you tons of paperwork. You're struggling. You're doing work. You're doing all that. This was meant to make it as easy as possible, knowing that it's benefit for all of them. The haves and have-nots in a school lunchroom is not a necessary thing. They just feed our children. And so I'm really excited about that. I think coupled with these payments, we're feeling this. Going back to school looks a lot.
Just feed our children. Keep feeding our children. No matter how much money they may have or may not have. Just keep feeding them. Let's see. Get rid of that. So we have the president here endorsing this ticket. Husband, father, veteran, teacher, coach, congressman, governor of Minnesota. And with your vote, we will make Tim Walz our next vice president. I'm excited to cheer this team on. We all know Joe Biden didn't actually write this tweet, but
Right. Exactly.
I digress. Look at this. The fakest. This is like an AI made image, by the way.
Yeah.
All these images look like they're AI made. I mean, they're just too perfectly clear and nice. It's like, oh, excuse me. And the back there, it says Madam and Vice with a line through it. So I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I think it's supposed to mean Madam President and have the Vice, deleted or something. Yeah. But this is like AI generated. Doesn't look good. All right. So Joe Biden endorses his ticket. Of course he does. So fake. No, he did that. No. Huh. So let's see. Oops, excuse me. Yeah, I'm as old as you are. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's been 20 years since the Iraq War started and all that shit. So that's why I said, it feels like it's been a long time. Elon endorsed me full-throated. So this is a Trump press conference from recently.
So Elon called me. As you know, he endorsed me full-throated. Great endorsement.
He endorsed me full-throated. He endorsed him. So these are. These are African American voters here talking about Kamala Harris. So
Supposed to be on record. She's using her color.
Because African Americans are allegedly all pro Kamala and they can't wait to vote for Kamala on election day. Except, let's just ignore these African Americans. But everybody else, yeah, definitely. They're all going to vote for Kamala Harris.
The black vote in 2020.
Oh, yeah. She barely got 1% African American support in 2020. But somehow she's going to get 70-80%. I mean, according to most of the media, at least.
She's using her color. I thought that Martin Luther King said the color wasn't the issue. I thought it was the content of our character that we were supposed to be recognized for. But if she's going to keep running on that color, she's going to have a misconception about how black people really roll.
If you bring somebody into office that looks like you, but then continues to detriment your community, what was that for? But if you choose somebody who can raise your community, then you chose the right one.
Wait,
so
who do you choose?
Personally, I choose Trump.
I'm looking for who I think is more qualified to run the country. That's all I'm looking at.
Black Latinos are starting to be a little bit more critical. They're fed up of their hard-earned money going to illegal, undocumented people.
Kamala Harris did not do a good job on the border because from what I know, a lot of people were coming from the other side and doing a lot of bad things to what we call home.
I think she's not a good candidate.
No, to be fair, she wasn't the border czar. That's not true. According to most of the media, all the media, they fact-checked that. That's not true. She was not the border czar. I mean, we have to remember that. Even though most of the media clearly did call the border czar at the time, but they all turned around and said, no, she's not the border czar. She never said that. Just trust us. Ignore our past reporting where we called it a border czar.
Needed for president because she's with Joe Biden for the past 2 years. A wreck up in New York,
Colors don't matter, man.
Right, they don't.
Ask God, man.
That's true. So what do you think about a candidate that uses their race as a selling point? Do you think
that's some weird
That's weird?
You lost already, 2024. If you racist today,
that's some weird shit, man. I mean, he's
nobody going against Trump.
It's not about race, it's about what they provide for the society, is what they could do for the community.
With her putting a lot of black Americans in jail for the marijuana, they're not really...
That's a big one. She put a bunch of black people in jail for marijuana and other crimes in general, but meanwhile, she wants to give us the veneer that she's a black woman. So, yeah, and it's just ridiculous.
Going for her.
We also got people's thoughts on Trump's recent comments on Harris's ethnicity.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn
I didn't know she was black either. It's very recent.
black, and now she wants to be known as black.
Yeah, she was Hindu when it suited her purpose, and now that she's running, the black vote suits her purpose. So, like Trump said, now she's black.
Donald Trump is absolutely right. Her mother's Indian, her father's Irish Hindu, and she's always presented herself as Indian.
What do you think about Trump saying Kamala Harris is black? I thought she was Indian. She was saying she was Indian.
That's my response. Trump is an open book, yo. Facts.
That's just Trump being Trump. I don't believe he's racist. I don't even think he has a racist bone in his body.
Trump said that Kamala Harris always portrayed herself to be Indian, and now all of a sudden she's saying she's black.
Right? Nah, she's really Indian. She just want our support. She's trying to snatch our support away from Trump. But that's not how that's going down.
Yeah, so there you go. They got some black voters there talking about how she all of a sudden she's pretending to be black and she's white and
She's
I don't
doing
know.
that
I don't know.
accent thing too, the black accent or the southern accent.
Yeah, she's been doing these accents. I don't. These fake accents. That's horrible. Some of these accents. Come on, really, woman? Let me see. Hold on. It's like Hillary Clinton did in 2016.
Yeah.
When I think I tweeted it out. I said I'm surprised that she hasn't said she has hot sauce in her pocketbook yet. The way, let's see.
At least when Hillary did it, the accent thing, I thought it was kind of funny a little bit.
No, this is just lame. So this is one of her accents here.
Hold on. You know what? Here, hold on. Here's the thing. The courts are going to handle that. We're going to beat them in November.
We're gonna beat him in November.
We'll beat them in November.
We'll beat him in November. Very, very awkward face, by the way. She's not a natural at this. She's not a natural at politics. She's just, she's kind of just like, we're beat him in November. We're beat him in November. One of those, like, she's doing that. It's like she's not a natural at this. She's terrible at this, at talking in front of in the public. So this is another recent one where she changed her accent again, depending where she's at in the country. She puts on a bizarre accent as she speaks in Atlanta. So she's probably being more of a southern accent.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
We're going to do it again in 2024. It's like somebody from the Northeast, like me, trying to speak in a southern accent.
I'm just like you guys.
Uh-huh. So here's another one. She has a history of just changing her accent. Hillary Clinton wasn't even this bad.
Yeah.
1 whole minute of Kamala Harris changing her accent depending on the racial group she's talking to.
I said to the congressman, I didn't know he could preach like that.
Hey girl, I'm out here in these streets, and let me tell you, as they say, they not like us.
In these
Do
streets.
I see people testifying? Can I get a witness?
So what we're gonna cook today, is an Indian recipe. Yes, because you are.
She doesn't have a clue, even though she's Indian. She's looking at this woman like, Indian recipe. What is that? I don't know. I never eaten that type of food.
Indian.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're both Indian, but actually we're both
No,
South
she is.
Indian.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman.
She's talking to LGBTQ people here.
I can imagine what can be
And
and
white
be
people.
unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened
sis-
by what has been.
Can-
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Ooh, this is a reveal.
I've never been asked that. I did.
Okay.
She
That's
doesn't
also
take
her-
her husband.
She also laughs when she continues to bomb people in Gaza and all that stuff.
It's like she doesn't take her husband seriously. All she does is laugh. I did. Let's see.
When are we going to bring up the, how Kamala reacted to those protesters?
Oh yes, that's a good segue. In fact, I didn't save it, even though I should have. But yeah, Kamala Harris. I tweeted about it plenty of times. But she had a rally. What was it in Michigan? It was in Michigan. Because there's a high Arab population in Michigan. So she had a rally there, and she decided to, she met with a lot of these protesters before the rally, and she thought, okay, that's good enough, right? I told you what you wanted to hear, so leave me alone now. Nope, they protested her anyways, and she decided to basically tell them to fuck off live in front of everybody, and everybody cheered her like she was some sort of girl boss, like putting those protesters in their place. Yay! See, she put him in her place, everybody. Isn't she great?
So bad.
Yeah, there's just Awful.
I mean, even Joe Biden didn't respond to them like that.
No. And Joe Biden is barely able to function, but even he was smart enough not to do this. I am voting for Vice President Kamala Harris, and there should have been a better response to these pro-Palestine protesters who interrupted her speech. A simple "I hear you" or "I understand" followed by the most generic response should have been prepared. Yeah, I mean, again, this is very similar to what other PMC liberals said, like Kyle Kalinske or the Young Turks, and I've seen them say similar stuff.
Yeah, and I remember Nick Cruz and Jimmy Dore. I remember Nick Cruz and Jimmy Dore both went after Kyle saying, "Oh, you gotta lie to them better," and all that. Like,
yeah, that's basically what Kyle was saying, and others in his other. Let me try it again. Kyle Kalinske and his friends, were saying that basically. So, like, oh well, lie better. Don't get mad. Don't snap at them. Say, "I hear you" with a generic talking point. Make them happy. But nope. Instead, she does this.
Project 2025. If he is elected,
look at her face. Look at that.
Why is she smiling?
The most awkward smile of all time. Like, yeah, what the fuck are they saying? Do I have to respond to this? Oh, kick him out? You can't kick him out? Shit. Like, it's that Eddie Murphy smile. That over the top Eddie Murphy smile when he in his movies, and he does that. It's all good. She's furious, but she's furious. Meanwhile, it's like, it's all good. It's all good. Can you tell I'm pissed?
I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now.
Terrible. It's just terrible.
You should play the other part of that clip where she's really angry.
I don't. It's not here. This one didn't have it, but let me see if.
Well, you can search up. I gotta see what the account's name is again.
There's this one. Let me see whether. It's like. Let's see. It says this one.
Well, I was thinking.
So.
I was gonna say.
So Project 2020.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bring up the account that says that goes by Read No Shortcuts or Joshua P. Hill. That's the account that really brought it up.
This one is another version.
So Project 2025. Look, if he is elected, Donald Trump.
Kamala, you can't hide. We won't vote for genocide. That's what they were saying. Kamala, you can't hide. We won't vote for genocide.
And he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
Oh, look at that girl boss. Look at her. She told those protesters to fuck themselves and vote for Trump.
Her head or later on.
It's like she thought, God damn it, I met with these fuckers before the protest. And look at them. They're still fucking protesting me. How dare they?
Yeah.
They have some nerve to fucking protest me after I met with them. And I told them exactly what they wanted to hear. And God damn it, they're still protesting me. That's what that face tells me there.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kamala. You just lost Michigan.
Yeah. It's like, God damn it, they're still protesting me. I can't believe this shit. I told them exactly what they wanted to hear. Then we'll do everything I can to stop this genocide. Meanwhile, that's not going to do dick, but,
and it was announced by I guess it was a senior advisor of hers saying that she's going to continue the embargoment of arms or whatever.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
They're not going to change their policy. They're not. She's not going to change the Biden administration policy 1 second.
If you have a brain, if you're smart, and if genocide is your red line, don't vote for Kamala. Just don't do it.
Oops. Sorry about that. Again, I did it again. All right.
We're not
Laughter is
saying
neurotic.
vote for Trump. We're just saying don't vote for either of them who support genocide.
No, don't vote for either of these fuckers.
You know, you can vote for Jill Stein if you want to, but don't vote for these candidates.
Look at it. That face is like, yeah, god damn it, I told you guys what you wanted to hear. Why the fuck are you still protesting me?
Yeah.
Shit.
And like I said, even Obama and Biden had better responses than that. I mean, that's
bad. Yeah, it's like she's looking. It's just bad. I mean, and then she's like, and everybody's cheering this shit. Look at it. Oh, you still won't shut the fuck up? It's like one of those.
Bitch. That's what she is.
Yeah, she's a terrible politician.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing, and it's like I can't believe anybody at this
just
point.
Imagine, of course, after she did that, what she just did is she now opened the floodgates. Now it's going to get ugly at the convention, and they're going to be even more protesters over there, and they have
it's going
no
to get worse for her.
For them, at the convention.
That convention's going to be brutal for her.
Yeah.
Even though the party will make sure that, that a lot of these protesters won't be anywhere near the United Center in Chicago where the convention's taking place. But I mean, there's going to be media in that area, and eventually they're going to come across these protesters. And trust me, they ain't going to like what they see. So let's see. We have a new account here. Jesus, this account's going to take off. All right, let's see. A Walz wins account.
Oh my God.
In a remarkably wholesome moment, Tim Walz asked Kamala Harris to take a selfie in front of the sign in the classroom in Arizona. This tag team's incredible. Retweet for all Americans to see this beautiful moment.
Who fucking cares?
I am not asking.
Look at this. Look.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
But it's a
Okay, go on.
this sign.
my fault. Selfie.
I think Jonathan Coachman is the better coach than him.
I mean, let's see. So selfie. Let's see what else. Oh,
so
allegedly, this is the reason why she's going to win the election, because people say to win the election.
Playbook as in 2016. It's like, hey guys, I'm like you. Vote for us.
Yep. Kamala wins account. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz holding another packed rally in Glendale, Arizona, where attendees were waiting in 105-degree heat to get in. Retweet to ensure the media sees the energy enthusiasm surrounding this campaign. 105 degrees. These people are marks. Look at this. Allegedly, all the people allegedly waiting to get into the arena. In 105-degree weather. In Arizona. Except I've noticed it's something that I noticed. This is probably this is recycled, because you see the stadium there, the Arizona Cardinals home there.
Yeah.
And then you see it again in a few seconds. Right there, you see it again.
Oh yeah.
So this is probably a footage that's recycled, like 5 seconds. Of footage that are recycled, but yeah, I mean, instant bullshit. And you can see, it's like you see the Arizona Cardinals football stadium there, like 2 or 3 times, even though they're different parts of the line allegedly. So let's see.
Oh, play the clip. Scroll up a bit. That one, yeah. Let's see what that one's about.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz used curtains to block off top seating of Desert Diamond Arena, Phoenix, for their rally. These are the things journalists need to know. Too many conservative journalists are reporting the capacity size of the stadium, making it seem like Harris filled the arena. Please don't follow liberal propaganda, blah, blah, blah. So it's... There's a bunch of curtains here that are up.
I'm not quite sure if I understand what's going on.
I don't either. Apparently, there's curtains covering the upper decks, which is here.
Oh, okay.
And here, there's like curtains here. Meanwhile, this is like the Arizona Coyotes hockey stadium, or the Phoenix Suns basketball stadium. So
yeah, that now I understand.
So the upper deck is covered with curtains, even though allegedly they sold it out, or they had a full stadium, but they really didn't. So that's what that is. So, oops. Let's see here. Team Trump releases a brutal montage of Kamala Harris without her script. Then this is bad.
I understand the point that you're making. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
Nope.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the point that you're making. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right?
Right.
The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it,
it's very important, the passage of time for Kamala Harris. I mean, she says this so many times throughout her time as the vice president. It's ridiculous.
there is great significance.
30 seconds
Yeah.
or 15 seconds.
Yeah. Max says, I think Afro Man bite me better. I mean, anybody better than Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, but you want to vote for me? Write my name in, by all means.
Significance to the passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It
Oh, wow.
exists
Kamala figured out that Ukraine is in Europe, is a country in Europe.
another country called Russia. Russia is.
When you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It
Holy
exists
shit.
next to another country called Russia. Russia is a country.
No
Russia
shit.
is a powerful country. Russia decided to
You see
invade
that?
a smaller country.
Oh my god, it's like she's teaching a
I was gonna say, why is it, like, don't talk to us like we're kindergartens or preschool.
It's like she's teaching a 5th grade social studies course. Watch, look at
It exists next to Europe. Is a
passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It
It's like she's teaching a 5th grade social studies class.
exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade.
Now this part isn't true, but
Ignoring
it's like she's
what
teaching
happened in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she's teaching a goddamn social studies class, and she's failing too, by the way, because this part isn't true.
A smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us. Right?
The Caribbean nations, island nations. In the Western Hemisphere, that is where the Caribbean is, we are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors. I am here standing in us,
right?
The Caribbean nations, island nations. In the Western Hemisphere, that is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors.
Again, she's going into a social studies course, trying to teach it to 5th graders. This is ridiculous.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have.
Wait. Poland is not on the northern flank. It's Eastern Europe. How do you not know this? You're the vice president of the United States, and you don't know this? It's like, well, I mean, we're here in the northern flank. The eastern flank. Like Poland is right next to Russia. That's why they're in NATO.
Joe Biden dementia or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
and it's worse because at least Joe Biden has an excuse, that he's mentally losing his mental capacity. She's not. I mean, she's like barely. She's not even 60, and she's talking like this, like, I mean, we're here in the northern flank. Oh, I mean, the eastern flank, and let's see what else she says.
In terms of the eastern flank, I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by.
What?
That's like saying, the New York Yankees are a baseball team that play in New York City in the Bronx, and it's the most popular team in all sports. It's like, yeah, thank you.
Flank. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. Space
No, I
is
don't know.
exciting. It is
I don't understand what you mean by that.
time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down. We will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Yes. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend. Yes. And then, the little thing catches it, and then,
What are you talking about?
So we got to perfect that one a little bit more. Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that women...
Kamala Harris couldn't have been more wrong about women's March Madness bracket fact. Vice President Kamala Harris wrongly claims that NCAA women's tournament excluded from brackets in 2022. Kamala Harris bizarrely claims that women's college basketball wasn't allowed in March Madness until 2022, despite the first female NCAA tournament taking place in 1982. Did she really say that? No, that can't. Let me see. She could not have said that. She did then.
Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022?
Oh my God.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. AI is kind of a fancy thing.
No, they don't. North Korea is an adversary, Kamala. We don't have a special relationship with the North Koreans. You meant the South Koreans. My God, it's like these are the people who are trying to run our country. Either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. I mean, these are the best that we got, apparently. I can't believe
the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. AI is kind of a fancy thing.
It's South Korea, Kamala. Hopefully she gets that right.
First of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence.
Well, there you go. It's a Trump commercial, and my God. I can't. It's so funny.
And a couple things, she still hasn't held a press conference, and she still doesn't have any. It still doesn't have any policies on her website, which is.
Hold on, she still doesn't. Hold on, let me see. Kamala Harris. Yes. Let's see what she still. Because I know Kit Cabello showed her website a couple of days ago, and she still didn't have policies.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? This is it? I'm going to show you. Whoops. Let me try turning my camera on. Let me show. This is the website. This is KamalaHarris.com. Oops. I don't want any of this shit. So you get chip in today to power a campaign. You can give $25, $47, $100, $150, or $250, $1,000, or other. Let's see. Harris Walz. Let's win this. Join the campaign. By the way, do not give information to them, because if you do, then then you'll get emails for the rest of fucking time, like I do from the Democrats, because I gave my information to Bernie Sanders. All right, to this day, regret that. So let's see. Meet Kamala Harris. So this is all that's on the website. Daughter, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. No policy still. Let's see. Meet Tim Walz. So this is the BP pick. Gives you all his information. Take action. What does this mean? Give you all your name and information. No, thank you. Events. Let's see. What is this? Closest events this week. So these are all the events. Are there another white dudes for Harris meeting? Doesn't look like it, but there's a Zoom phone bank for Democrats. Latinos con Kamala, or Latinos for Kamala. There's a meeting tomorrow. Don't go to this meeting, by the way. I'm trying to make a point here. And store. Let's see the type of merch that they have here. Oh my God, $20 for a yard sign? It's outrageous. Like, you would give these away. When I was growing up, the campaigns would give this away just to put in your yard. Now it's like, oh yeah, here, give me $20 and I'll give you a sign to put in your fucking front yard. Harris T-shirt, $32. Harris wall stickers, $6. A printed camo hat, $40. A baseball cap, $32. This is outrageous. Like, who would pay this for this stuff? Throwback Kamala tee. What is this? Oh, it's her in college. Oh God, who would wear this shirt?
Who cares?
I mean, I'm trying to make a point here. The fact there's still no policies on this website.
Yeah.
Because if we go to for better or worse, you may hate Donald Trump or whatever you want to say, but I'm pretty sure he must have some sort of policies on his website. Here it is. See? Let me show you guys. Here it is. President Donald Trump website. Look at this. Look what it says there. Latform. Look at this. There's actually some sort of policies here. Wow. Isn't this shocking? He has some sort of policies. You may not like these. I don't like a lot of these, but at least there's something on his website.
Yeah.
Seal the border and stop migrant invasion. Carry out largest deportation operation in American history. End inflation. Make America affordable again. Make America a dominant energy producer in the world by far. Stop outsourcing. Turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech and religion, blah, blah, blah. Keep the right bear to arms. Prevent World War III. Restore peace in Europe and the Middle East. And build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield around their entire country, all made in America, and the weaponization of government against the American people, blah, blah, blah. And it keeps going. Cancel the electric vehicle mandate. Keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. And there's more here in the Republican Party platform. And this goes on. It's like 16 pages. 16 pages of policies. Protect Social Security, strengthen Medicare, support active and healthy living, protect care
New
for
section,
elderly.
because I can't see it.
What?
I'm still on the same page, or if it's still showing
Oh.
the same page.
You're right. I should probably do this. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, oops. Yeah, so this is a PDF file of 16 pages worth of Donald Trump's proposals. So I was reading this one in particular, protecting seniors. Protect Social Security, strengthen Medicare, support active and healthy living, protect care at home for the elderly, protect economic foundations for supporting seniors, protect American workers and farmers from unfair trade, bring back the American dream, make it affordable again for families, young people, and everyone. Build the greatest economy in history. And there's all this stuff here. Reliable, low energy, cut regulations, make Trump tax cuts permanent, no tax on tips. Seal the border and stop migrant invasion. Defeat inflation and quickly bring down all prices. Table of contents, So basically, 16 pages worth of policy proposals. And Kamala Harris has nothing on her website. Yeah. It's just donate to me. Here is my biography, Tim Walz's biography, and make sure you give me your information so I can email you a million times a day. and go to my store and buy merchandise that is made in China. I'm sure. So let's see. Let's get rid of that. Man, time is it? I still have a bit of time. Let's see. So I'm going to do a map for this is this is as of now what 2024 looks like. I don't know why Texas is leaning red. Because it's definitely gonna go red. So let's do that. Florida definitely go red. Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina is leaning red. So if you let's look at some polling here because so you have Trump up 2 in Arizona, up by 4 in Nevada, Wisconsin and Michigan. Kamala Harris is barely leading in Pennsylvania, North Carolina by 3, and Georgia by less than a point for Trump. So Trump is winning most of these swing states. So let's look at
but
this.
apparently others are saying that Harris is leading the polls.
This is, I assume, these are the average of polls. But yeah, I mean, recently it was like, oh my God, Trump is winning. So let's say this is Trump up 1.4 nationally in the average of polls. So as of now, this is what the map would look like. So share this tab instead. So if polling holds, Trump should win North Carolina. He should win Georgia. Pennsylvania. Let's see, where is he at? He's
Might win Wisconsin as well.
Wisconsin is close. Hold on a second. Let's see. Whoops, sorry. Let's see. Arizona, Trump is up 2.8. So let's just assume Trump wins Arizona here. Nevada. Let's see. What's the polling show? Trump is up by 4? Holy shit, he's up by 4 in Nevada. Arizona, he's up by 2. Let's assume he wins that. Ohio should definitely go red. Oregon, for some reason, says lean blue. Let's just assume that it goes blue. Because I think it'll go blue ultimately. Minnesota will go blue. Especially since he picked Tim Walz. Illinois, go blue. Colorado is blue. That's blue. And Michigan and Wisconsin are pretty much the only 2 toss-ups. But let's say they both lean blue. Let's just put. There you go. So Trump still wins.
Yeah.
Let's say. So that there it is. That's your map for 2024. And right now, I don't know why Virginia is blue. Most likely, let's give Democrats Virginia. Again, I keep messing that up. Here we go. New Jersey is lean blue. Again, that's my home state, and there's no way Trump loses New Jersey. So, or that Harris. Let's just give New Jersey to the Democrats. New Hampshire. Let's
Trump
just give
win
it
New
to them.
Jersey in 2020.
No, he didn't. But there's polling that has Trump either up in New Jersey or almost tied with Harris. But let's do that even. Let's put that all blue. They still lose.
Yeah.
This is the map. Even with Wisconsin and Michigan going to Kamala Harris. Let's give it to her. Fuck it. Let's have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Kamala Harris Wisconsin. Let's give her Michigan. She still loses.
Yeah.
She still loses. So the map is almost impossible for her to win this time around. It's impossible for a Democrat to win. So that makes it 286 for Trump, 252 for Harris. She still can't win. So I don't know how they're expecting her to win this election. So the only way she can win this election is, so she needs Wisconsin, she needs Michigan, she needs Pennsylvania. Without Pennsylvania, she has no chance. She needs Georgia.
If they picked Shapiro for Pennsylvania, she may have had a better chance of possibly winning Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah. Let's put Pennsylvania blue. That's the election right there.
Yeah.
That's the election right there. Because Josh Shapiro is very popular in Pennsylvania. Yes, I know my co-host Steph, Miss Witchy Perfect, hates him, and there's good reason to hate him, but he's still popular in that state. So if she would have picked Shapiro, bang, that's your election right there, and Kamala Harris, your next president of the United States. Just based off that one state. But because she picked Tim Walz, this is going to go red most likely. And that happens, whoop, there you go. Donald Trump's the president. So that's why a lot of people were shocked when she picked Tim Walz. Like, what? I mean, Josh Shapiro is right there. He's right there. You want to win? Pick him. Nope. Let me pick Tim Walz. For why? My guess is to try to appeal to her base.
Well, I think the main reason why she didn't, or they didn't pick Shapiro's because of all those reports came out of his dangerous Israel statements about, he's against BDS, and also when he was joining he was supporting the IDF military. What I don't remember the exact story, but I remember reading them, and that.
Well, yeah,
that played a huge part.
He's Jewish, and he was openly pro-Zionist Israel, so he was really open about that. And Tim Walz more he hit it more, even though he's also pro-Zionist. But yeah, if you would have picked Tim Walz, bang, guarantee victory because he's popular in Pennsylvania. Shapiro. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania. You pick him, victory. You don't pick him, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right there. Even though, yes, you may win Minnesota. I gave her Wisconsin and Michigan, even though she's technically ahead. She's within the margin of error in both states, in Wisconsin and Michigan. So she's up 0.5 in Wisconsin and only 2 points in Michigan. So I gave her both states because she's up.
I can't wait to see the liberals and the fake progressives' reactions when Trump wins again. It's
because at this point, he is going to win. I mean, I don't see how Kamala wins.
Yeah.
Because there's no COVID doesn't exist this time around, so there's not going to be all these extra mail-in ballots rolling around here, and who knows, how those votes would have ended up. But as of now, this is what the map looks like. So there's no way, unless she wins, she has to take Georgia somehow. So let's put Georgia there. She has to take Arizona, has to be blue. Pennsylvania has to go blue. So she needs Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania in order to have a shot of winning, even though she's behind in Georgia. And she's behind in Arizona. And she's behind in Nevada. And she's going to lose Pennsylvania without picking Josh Shapiro. So I don't see how this map helps her. Unless unless they're claiming that, well, I mean, she's gonna have to flip some red states because this is the map what it is right now. So she would have to flip Florida somehow. Let's say she flips Florida, that's the election right there. But Florida is practically a red state at this point, so there's no way that you flip Florida. Georgia, Trump is up in Georgia, and he's probably going to take Georgia again. Yeah. North Carolina, Trump is up by 3. So that's definitely going to be a Trump state. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada. Ohio is going to go red again. Illinois, Indiana, sorry, that's a red state. So even if she takes Wisconsin and Michigan, I give it to her, even though is within a margin of error. she's still gonna need Georgia to flip Georgia somehow, and she's gonna need to flip Pennsylvania, and either Arizona or Nevada to win. So this map is totally against her, and against Joe Biden even. Let's say Joe Biden was the nominee, it's against him too.
Yeah.
So that's what your map looks like. Hawaii, Hawaii, Hawaii and Alaska usually go red and blue. They're like down here. I forgot about them. California. If it wasn't for California, if Democrats can't carry California, forget it. Like that's right there.
Yeah.
Forget it. I mean, honestly, California keeps him in the race. It keeps him in the ball game. California, New York. Without that, Democrats never see the White House again. But I digress. You know, I mean, I love looking at these maps. So as of now, that's just my map. Unless polls change and all of a sudden you have Trump either winning a lot of these other states, like because Virginia is basically a blue state at this point, even though it used to flip back and forth. But as of now, it's a blue state. So Illinois is a blue state, Minnesota is a blue state. But I did see polls having New Jersey basically either lean red or close to red, because I've seen Trump up by like 2 points. So at least it was Joe Biden. I don't know about Kamala Harris. Those polls probably changed, but let's say if it turns out Trump either wins New Jersey or it's too close to call on election day, Kamala Harris definitely lost. That's if New Jersey's too close to call when at 7 o'clock in November when the polls closed, it's over. If New Jersey's too close to call, forget it. She's gonna lose. She's gonna lose big. It's gonna be an embarrassment for the Democratic Party. It's like 1984 Ronald Reagan landslide. That's what it's gonna be if it's too close to call New Jersey, or New York, or all these other states, so that are usually blue states. I mean, it's over. Let's yeah, us poors, we're all fucked. Yeah. Let's see. So as of now, in the average of polls, Trump up by 1.4 points nationally. As of now, this is what Real Clear Politics is predicting. This is their map over here. If there's no toss-ups, of course. Apparently, none of these are toss-ups. Texas isn't a toss-up. I mean, it's like they're kind of trying to make people feel better. Look on the left-hand side here at all these toss-ups when there isn't any toss-ups. Like Alabama isn't a toss-up. Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, or Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas. These are not toss-ups. These are all red states. Ohio is a red state. Georgia it is a swing state, but I think it'll swing red this time. North Carolina definitely will go red. So I don't know why they're thinking they're putting this as a bunch of toss-ups here.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Let's see. This is Arkansas. Like, oh, okay. I can see actual polling from each state. Look at this though. This is the last polling in March. Biden's only up by 7 in New Jersey. Was up by 7. 7, not 30, not 40 points. 7. Than the average of polls in New Jersey. And this is Biden. This isn't Kamala Harris, so that could change. But that's ridiculous. That's why I said it was a swing state, basically. There's no polling in California. Well, of course not, because they're assuming it's going to go to the Democrats. So, let me see. Pennsylvania. See? Pennsylvania. Average of polls, Trump up 1.8 points. So, there's this poll here that has him up 2. This poll, it's a Democrat Party poll, has him up by 1. Bloomberg has him up by 4. Fox News has it tied. And The Hill has it at 2. Okay, so I don't know why. I don't get why Kamala Harris didn't pick Josh Shapiro. Just do that, and that's your election right there. You don't need anything else. But I'm the hell. I mean, I don't care. But I'm just surprised that as a politician, she wasn't smart enough to pick. Unless Josh Shapiro was like, I don't want to be president. I don't want to be vice president. I want to be president. So, no, I don't want. I'm not going to be your BP pick. So that right there is the election. I suspect that Trump is going to win. This is based off that. But what time is it? Still got enough time. So let's see. So that's my map there. That's my prediction. We'll check back after the convention next in the next couple of weeks and see where polling is there. Then the next Trump and Biden, Trump and Harris agreed to a debate in September, apparently.
Yeah.
So after that debate, I suspect a lot of this polling will change, and it won't be good for Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris will not do well in that debate. Again, that's my prediction. Based off that and the media reporting, her polling numbers will go down a lot, which means a lot of these states will not be blue. So it's not. It's going to be brutal, but let's see. Mm, Let's see. What else can we talk about here before we go? Oops. Trending. What's trending? Pray for Trump. Why is Pray for Trump trending? I don't know. So Pray for Trump is trending.
I'm not sure why.
Might
be because of the plane emergency landing thing. That might be why. But
oh yeah, that's right. There was an emergency
he
landing
already
of
made a
Trump's
video said
plane.
he was okay or something like that. So
Yeah. So I forgot about that. Yeah. So Trump apparently had a plane issue earlier today, but it turns out that he's fine. So it is still trending. Pray for Trump.
yeah.
So we're praying. So yeah. Oops. Sorry about that. But yeah, we have a bunch of like these professional like liberals. Just they're all like celebrating and talking about how Kamala's going to win this election and how great she is and how, oh my God, we can't wait until she's president and Tim Walz is vice president because they will, Tim Walz will make sure that she is as progressive as possible, even though there's no evidence for any of that. And Tim Walz is not going to do anything to make sure Kamala Harris is progressive. That's completely absurd. It's like completely absurd to think that that Kamala Harris is going to listen to some vice president of hers.
No.
It's just completely absurd. So just wanted to look at this is TYT. I want to look at some of their titles. I'm not going to play any of this crap because it's crap. I never watched it in a month, but their titles are just hilarious. JD Vance storms Kamala Harris plane in cringe stunt. Tim Walz is giving big dad energy, whatever that means. Sean Fain unleashed. Sean Fain unleashes on Donald Trump. Yeah, if you ask Indy about Sean Fain, he's no fan of Sean Fain.
The workers or whatever.
Yeah. Indy's no fan of his. I mean, he's the one that really covers the union stuff, and he hates him. Trump's massive fumble. Trump face plants is good in response to supporters' really good question. Pelosi knocks Biden. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi attacking Joe Biden, even though she wouldn't do that. Let's see. Green Jean Pierre slams Cory Bush. Harris scolds protesters. Trump flip flops on debates. These are just terrible, like unentertaining, uninteresting videos, and it keeps going. Let's see. John Boyd is not okay. Audio Trump praising Walz.
Al Kowinski, he's been doing this too. So
yeah, look at the audio of Donald Trump praising Tim Walz on Earth. Yes, that was because he again, like we talked about, he put out the National Guard against the Black Lives Matter protesters. So Trump was pro that, of course. That's why he praised them. But yeah, let's ignore that part. I mean, I thought TYT was pro BLM. Cory Bush. Cory Bush's vow to fight APAC, whatever, you lost, so it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, Cory Bush did lose her primary yesterday, or was it yesterday? Whenever it was, earlier this week, and she lost again. She got crushed, just like the other one was crushed. The other dude, Jamal Bowman. That's right, he got crushed.
And who knows
Let's
if
see,
Kyle would finally lose too.
Trump shows his ass in bizarre press conference, whatever that means. War with Iran inevitable? Okay, that's something that seems important. Kamala dominates Trump in new poll. That's a national polling, most likely, which is nonsense because national polls don't matter. Let's see. Shaking down advertisers. Twitter sues advertisers for dumbest reason ever. Pete Buttigieg says quiet part out loud about Trump's plan. Quit lying. Fox News host finally fed up with Trump's lies. Cenk smacks down Piers Morgan, Tim Walz lies. Sucking up to Cenk. Good job, child. Fox News admits it. Fox News admits Walz is the real deal. No, they didn't. I'm sure they didn't. That's Kyle, twisting their words, and like, oh yeah, I mean, even Fox News likes Tim Walz. Isn't that great? Kamala declared anti-Semite for not picking Shapiro as VP. New desperate Tim Walz smear drops. This is his military service, which we already proved that is true. That he lied about his service. Please come back. Panic Trump fantasizes about Biden coming back. No, he doesn't. He's not fantasizing about Biden coming back. This is not true. Dumbest streamer. Trump sucked off by dumbest streamer in the country. I love the sexual innuendo there. I mean, Trump reacts to Tim Walz as VP and implodes. Not really. Republicans absolutely shit themselves over Tim Walz, except they're really not. Revealed why Kamala picked Tim Walz. Yeah, nobody cares. Putting him on notice. Deep dive on Tim Walz's policies. I guarantee you, Kyle Kalinske didn't mention his pro-Zionist policies or his pro-Ukraine policies. Didn't mention that at all in this 30-minute video of his deep dives. I'd be shocked if he did.
Well, I think I heard that that he mentioned that he disagrees with Tim Walz on Israel, but for like a short time he said that. Like he disagrees.
Yeah, I love 99% of everything he says. I disagree though on genocide, and I disagree on what's going on in Ukraine. But everything else, I completely agree with on.
I don't know if Kyle's really anti-Ukraine though.
Well, he claims to be now.
Well,
back when it first started, he was completely in favor of it. Now it's like he kind of turned on it. It's like, oh no, now it's too much. Now we should get out. Get off the couch. Kamala and Walz smack down Trump and Vance on an electric rally. Electric. Why Kamala needs Tim Walz? Governor, nobody knows who he really is, but he needs him. Liberals are demons. Random video there. Doing blackface. Newsmax concludes it's Kamala doing blackface. And you're low. Well, technically, she's trying to be black, and she's trying to be black. I could see kind of where they're coming from when she's doing blackface, even though it's not directly doing blackface like a lot of white people do. But let's see. More Trump corruption, ridiculous. CNN explodes. This is awful. I mean, Kamala makes best VP pick possible. Blah, blah, blah. You get the point. They're terrible videos and very uninteresting nonsense. So, yeah, this is the type of shit that is going on here. Kamala Harris sold out the arena. Let's see. What new arena does she sell out now? This is the type of arena Taylor Swift sells out. Kamala Harris just sold it out with 20,000 people. By the way, this is the same exact arena we showed earlier, which had all the
Covered
the curtains on top. So no, she didn't sell out the arena. And that's not 20,000 people. That's probably half the stadium full. Which again is respectable if you're honest about it, but no, they're claiming that it was full 20,000 people in an arena, which is not. Yes, that arena fits 20,000 people for basketball and for hockey, but that's not what this is. This is like half of it, which is respectable for a political rally, but be honest about it. And it was like 20,000 people. That's like half the stadium full. Again, respectable, but don't come to me with bullshit about how it's sold out. Because it isn't. So let's see. We got some random USA chants here.
Oh, and by the way, their ads of Trump apparently going to be tougher on the border than or Kamala being tougher on the border than Trump. You know, so that's just what do you?
Yeah, let's try to out Republican the Republicans. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna be tougher on the border than Donald Trump. Yeah, that's gonna win you votes for sure. Unbelievable. Huge tramps of USA broke out after the Kamala Harris rally in Arizona where Tim Walz was speaking. Democrats love this country and our democracy.
Somebody should let Harry know that the Republicans do the same thing at the Trump rallies.
Yeah.
You love this democracy.
It's a cry?
I'll tell you what.
USA. It kind of reminds me of an old wrestling show from like the late 80s when they're all chanting USA at the bad guy, at the foreign bad guy. It's ridiculous. Let's at the foreign menace.
When they had Muhammad Hassan and Zavari when they were in WWE, they did the same.
Yeah, that's USA, US. I'm like, yeah, but
even though,
yeah, but
or at least for Muhammad Hassan, I'm not sure about Zavari, but Muhammad Hassan is an Arab American. He was born in the U.S. So,
in fact, he wasn't even Arab. He was Italian.
Oh,
his name is Mark Copan or Copan or something like that. He's Italian. He's an Italian born in New York, but he did such a great job with that character that he bought it. He bought that he was an Arab from the Middle East or something. Oh come on! I mean I can't. Let's see. There's one more thing before I go. Tim Walz is a disaster. Face it. They didn't bet him. He's falling 21 points above JP Vance. If Walz was a disaster, what does that make Vance?
Where's the 21 points that he's ahead of?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what polling he's referring to. He's obsessed with polling. He doesn't really show it. He just says it. Oh yeah, he's 21 points above JD Vance. Don't have to show any evidence for this. And by the way, I want to see methodology of polling. I want to see who did the poll. I want to see who did. I want to see how many Democrats were polled, how many Republicans were polled. This doesn't make any sense. Like Kamala Harris being this popular out of nowhere, and all of a sudden this dude, Tim Walz, being popular out of nowhere. I'm just not buying it. And whenever I see these polls, you quickly realize that they oversample Democrats. Like they poll Democrats more than Republicans or independents. So it tells me everything I know. It's like they're astroturfing Kamala Harris and the Kamala Harris campaign. It's like, oh yeah, look, she's up by 5 points in this state. When you look at the poll itself, like, oh, it turns out they oversampled Democrats for the most part. That's mostly true. When I see these polls, like, oh wow. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like, just be honest. You don't need to find like bullshit polling. Here's more examples of Kyle creaming himself and defending Tim Walz because he loves Tim Walz for whatever reason. You won't be shocked to learn that Tampon Tim is a fake news. Tim Walz signed the bill to provide students with access to menstrual products at no charge, but nothing in the bill specifies how or where these products should be made available. In other words, Walz did something incredibly based, free tampons in schools, and the right spins it as making stuff up and pretending that is radical because they hate trans people. So yeah, he finds himself needing to defend Tim Walz every 5 seconds. Anoka Hennepin, the state's largest school district, the free products are not found in traditional male-only bathrooms, but they are provided for free in all non-gendered bathrooms, girls' bathrooms, or from health staffers. Raising culture war lies by conservatives, their only move since they know 100% Tim Walz's economic record absolutely smokes them. Except nobody really cares because A, he's running for vice president, not president, and B, his foreign policy is awful, just absolutely awful, atrocious. It's like it smokes, like using Kyle's words, it smokes whatever he does on domestic policy, because oh yeah, he did all this good stuff, but his foreign policy is awful, especially on Israel Palestine. He's pro-Zionist, but the best that these professional liberals say, well, I disagree with him. That's it. I disagree with him.
I disagree.
I get that absolutely ridiculous. It's infuriating. It's absolutely infuriating. Well, we're closing in on 2 hours, so if there's not much else, I guess we can call it a night here.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for this episode of Angel in the Afternoon.
It's been postponed again, so yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to thank everybody for watching. By the way, make sure you watch this Sunday, August 11th at 7, as I will have Kit Cabello on Harlan's Media, and we will be previewing the Democratic National Convention, which takes place in Chicago, which is the 19th, I believe, 19th, 22nd. And we'll be talking about some other things there, too. So make sure you tune in Friday at 7 o'clock. So until then, I'm going to see you guys Sunday. Please